Our series, Bush League Justice, is back. Tonight we continue our investigation into whether pure politics led to the prosecution and conviction of Alabama's former Democratic governor, now sitting in a federal penitentiary. Today, Karl Rove, the president's former top political aide, says he has, quote, no recollection of ever meeting with or talking to a former Republican operative named Dana Jill Simpson, who told us that Rove asked her to spy on former Governor Don Siegelman in an effort to catch him cheating on his wife. Simpson also said that Rove and top Alabama Republicans plotted the prosecution of Siegelman. Tonight, more of my interview with Simpson. Now 52 former state attorneys general have serious questions about how this case was handled, and so do I. We'll get to those in a moment with Governor Siegelman's daughter, who joins us live. But first, another remarkable incident in this already remarkable and troubling case. This past Sunday, millions of Americans watched 60 Minutes follow up on our story and questions about the case. But not in one part of northern Alabama. That's right. The segment on the Siegelman case in just that area and just that segment did not air because of what the station's general manager calls a technical problem. Quote, the receiver failed at the worst possible time, and there's nothing I can do to make some people believe it. Well, the station also happens to be owned by a group with close ties to President Bush and the Republican Party. Joining me now, Scott Horton, a Columbia law professor who's covered the Siegelman case extensively for Harper's Magazine. All right, Scott, thanks for joining us. What do you make of the station's defense here?
Well, you cited the second defense. Originally, when they went on the air, they said that there were network difficulties. And as soon as that happened, I was watching it. I got the message from Alabama. I picked up the phone. I called CBS News. And I said, what are these network difficulties? And they said, there aren't any. This is being transmitted. This station has the signal. They're not putting it out to their viewers.
So they changed their story.
They then changed their stories, and they then said it was a receiver, that they were running that was not functioning.
I mean, it's so hard to believe. The notion that a receiver in Alabama, just during the Siegelman story, just during 60 Minutes, I mean, they got it resolved, right? Right at the end of the...
Just
as the story's finishing up, right?
That's right. Just for the last couple of minutes, which, of course, were senseless without seeing the beginning of it. Now, I think we got to give it to the station that they did come back and rebroadcast it twice. Once during the peak of the Oscars, when everyone was watching them being given out. The second time, they broadcast at 6 o'clock the following evening.
Well, look, I'm not suggesting that the whole station was behind this, but the idea that maybe there was someone there, be it a rogue individual, be it someone who gave an order to a particular person, whatever it is, it seems hard to escape that conclusion because otherwise, as I said the other night, they had the worst luck in the history of television.
Well, I think that's exactly right. I think it may not have been a conscious management decision. I'll give them that.
Well, who owns the station? Tell me that.
The station is owned by an investment group that is headed by one of the Bass brothers. I mean, they're very, very close to Bush. Of course, they were involved in Harkin Energy and other matters. They're big contributors to Bush. And, of course, Bush's senior political advisor, Karl Rove. And they have a manager there, local TV, which is headed by a CEO from Clear Channel, prior Clear Channel executive. Yeah. And he also has a long record of involvement with Republican causes. There's no question. In fact, the CBS people in New York told me this is a station that was known for its hostility to Governor Siegelman. No doubt about that.
All right. Scott, I'm asking you to stick around because I want to continue with this story. The allegations against Karl Rove. Former GOP operative Dana Jill Simpson says Rove was behind an effort to bring down former Governor Siegelman. Rove has denied that and denied ever talking or meeting with Simpson. When I spoke with her Monday, she fired back. Many of those comments did not air until now.
Well, this is what I'd say. Since Karl Rove has said that, and he feels so good about saying that, what I want him to do is go and swear in front of the United States Congress and swear what he is saying is true. It's easy to go out and slander people and libel people, but it is very much a serious thing to get in front of Congress. And as of this point, Karl Rove has refused to do so.
There is no doubt in your mind that you met with Karl Rove and that he said to you, spy on Governor Siegelman, get pictures, try and show that he was cheating on his wife?
That's exactly what the man asked me to do.
How many times did you meet with him?
I met with Karl Rove probably 3 times, approximately, and additionally, I also talked to him multiple times.
Why have you never mentioned before the allegation about Rove and the pictures?
Oh, I mentioned it to people. They just did not use it because nobody wanted to go into the fact that I had been following Don Siegelman trying to get pictures of him cheating on his wife.
So, but you know, as you know, some of your critics have said, oh, you know, in front of Congress, etc., she had a lot of opportunities. Why hasn't she mentioned this before?
Well, let me explain something to you. I talked to congressional investigators, Dan, and when I talked to those congressional investigators, I told them that I had followed Don Siegelman and tried to get pictures of him cheating on his wife. However, they suggested to me that that was not relevant because there was nothing illegal about that, and they just preferred that it not come up at the hearing that day.
All right, Doug Jones.
And my lawyer was there.
As you know, the Alabama Republican Party is now coming after you, saying we can't find one instance of Dana Jill Simpson volunteering or working on behalf of the Alabama Republican Party, nor can we find anyone within the party leadership in Alabama who's ever so much as heard of Dana Jill Simpson.
Well, that is absolutely a lie. That's has been said by Mike Hubbard, who is now the chairman of the Alabama Republican Party. But Mr. Hubbard's going to have a real problem because he's got to explain how I was talking on the telephone to the party headquarters in 2006 and also talking to the Riley campaign in 2002. And further, he's going to have to also explain how I have records showing I was talking to him in Washington and also in Virginia about the campaign back in 2002.